Our life to go there. Guys, today I've got our head football coach here in Camdenton, Park Pitts. He's an '87 Camden graduate, was a member of the very first Camdenton State Championship team back in the '86 team. He's been a head coach in a few areas: Palmyra, Herman, Troy, Odessa. He came back to Camdenton in 2014. Brought his family with him when he came. Became the head coach at the conclusion of the 2022 season when Jeff Shore retired. And I think if history shows in our 65 years, which is the 65th year, you might be like the 5th head coach or 6th head coach that our program's had this entire time. So I'm glad to have him here today. He's a good deal. We're going to do a lot of good stuff. So.
A long time since I had the opportunity to talk to community organization. I have a dream job finally after this is my 33rd year of coaching in education. I've been around and done a lot of different things, but I've actually been back here for 10 years and so excited to be able to be a leader of our program and try to help you could have such an impact on really shape who I am and why I'm in education coaching, because it wasn't because I was a really good player or anything like that. But the men that were in the program whenever I was a player made me believe I could be something better than what I believe myself as. So that's why we're in it. I thought I would just talk about we're in a new conference, and so we are playing all new teams, really. And so we've got the experience. 3 new teams. We played Jeff City week 1 and beat them handily. We didn't play great, but we beat them in a lot of different ways. And then Branson beat us in a lot of different ways. It was a bad night for us in terms of the night, but we always try to turn those things into positive. We were not doing these 10 things very well. We had to concentrate on those. The guys did that in a week and then came back and had a lot of alumni back. If you're at the game, I'm going to see like over 50 alumni coaches, managers, players come on the field and sort of reconnect to our program. And to me, that's important because I feel like the people that came before I played in '86, people that came after, all impacted our community from football, from living and working in the community, reconnect. You had people from that first team tonight. That was really cool to see that first people in that first team. Coach Osborne always tells me that we were up went into the Jersey Sports Hall of Fame 2017, I think. And we are the only Hall of Fame team that has living members of the first team. But all the other ones that are playing more relatively young in that process. Our new conference is Jefferson City Schools, which is the last capital city, Jefferson Days, and then we play Rockbridge, Battle High School, Columbia, Camdenton High School, and Seville. That's our new conference. We are the smallest school in that conference. It's a little bit different than the Ozark Conference, where in that conference there were 6 state champions in football. There are 37 state championships in the conference. Now Jefferson is one of the guys. Rockbridge actually beat us in our first state championship in 1974. We played Elias in the state championship. So very, very competitive conference. So they talk about trying to move to rank to compare to Camdenton. The team we're going to play Elias this week. They scored 90 points against some of the high schools. They have good scoring offense. They're at the feed. I think we're playing 5 instead of sure. Trying to read in that. It's kind of perspective. We have about 65 guys, 10 through 12. We have about 45 guys in the program. So that's there are teams in our conference that don't have freshman football. It's one of those continuing things we have to be able to keep guys out of the way. Looking forward to the conference, but it's supposed to be a challenge. At least we got to stay healthy. We've seen us play. We're leading the state top 10 in the nation in passing yards, which did help us to this maximum. Back to 400 yards, it's one of them. But we do have an outstanding set of receivers and quarterback with do a lot of different things. So that's good. Defense is coming around and doing a good job. So I think we ready to play the house after today tomorrow. So kind of like questions. So if you want to ask a question other than why did you call that play? That's why I don't call it. I don't call any plays. So not responsible.
Kind of new in the area that I assume I just go on the website I can go to, get your schedule, and like go to the.
Yeah, our school, the website, have a schedule on there. It's also on, we have a Camdenton High Football Facebook. And many places around town. So this year we were 100 schedules. Made a student somewhere around town and distribute them to the candidates and out to businesses. And our schedule from 80 freshman. So I think there might be one here. We ordered 100. We probably could have given away another 100. Estimated that, so we'll go through next year. Because that's a good point. We had lived in a society of communication. Those almost stuff we used to do with the way silent. Yeah, so it's around, but it's also on.
Games are on the radio.
Games are on the radio. They actually stream.
Oh, really?
On ATV, K1, STV.
92.7, I think that's
Most sports on it.
most that's the 92. So
Yeah, so
They
it's
do everything.
not as fun watching it at home. If you were at last week's game, it was probably as good an atmosphere as we had in the regular season, except for great turnout for fans. ROTC started doing push-ups and ready to can and just kind of do the can wild. Anybody from the old days who's never came to fireworks. Yeah.
I know that there's 6 classes football in the state. So you said this is new conference. Are we considered like class 5?
Yeah, we're class 5. We're in the bottom 5 or 10. I don't really. These guys do. My sister guys, they're all into all the numbers. I know we're in the bottom part of class 5. Not too many students away from being a class 4 student. We don't want that. That's what it is. In our conference, there's class 6 and class 5 teams. So that's every class.
What about our district?
Our district would be some of our conference schools: Capital City, Jeff City, Alliance, Lebanon is our conference, Rolla, our district. So conference and Lebanon and Rolla. Yeah.
Possibility.
Yes, so it's like 7 teams, so the top seed will be divided. Also have an opportunity for Lebanon. Fall.
I think Carson's a senior, right? So is there another earn entry to run around?
What an amazing great brothers that are amazing kid that amazing athletes as well. I was talking to Carson this week and got a text Monday afternoon. It's from Kate with like I don't know, maybe 1,000 words scattered on class. Watching simple function is it's his perspective on Kate is a super smart active person. So
We've had several of your students of the month, and kudos to you. You're coaching some really good kids. That's great speakers. Also, again, they're grateful and humble. So thank you for that. We're like amazing.
so sometimes it flocks into there or it's just one point. See what wrong with that. Time also set up also that most things that's say staff's installed that's it's like you have some member that's
What's one of your biggest challenges being a football coach these days?
so after a while challenges would be to get everybody going in the same direction and understand because oftentimes our world doesn't really recognize that person serves and we don't recognize or value people scouting. So it's easy to I'm not playing or I'm not playing on Friday nights. It's easy to say, well, I don't have time in this situation. So probably the biggest challenge is to know guys and know that value regardless of their role. Because our society often raises up mosquitoes, touchdowns, sacks, and those kind of things. That to me is our biggest challenge because we have everybody that direction your team as a synergy. That's oftentimes good is fine. It's great as far as so it takes everybody. That's a challenge. Cell phones are a challenge. So, you know, I was going to make a comment. UFO side. Somebody asked that. Yeah, and some of Silas kids, you know, that are not so sure what. But that's what works.
If you guys required to do like concussion protocol type things like the Trojans,
Yes, we have good training as a coach. Sure, do this training, recognize symptoms and what to do. We're fortunate to have a trainer that they'll assess every one of our kids who have a possible injury, and then the whole protocol we go through. Symptoms and just oftentimes it's usually 5 to 10 days. Symptom free. Something we have this year is a RDA tablets. It's bad. It takes those smaller positions and helps avoid those a little bit. Data from single NFL, so they invest $100 million in this place. So we think that it's going to help our freshman playing. I haven't convinced them actually to do that yet, but we have people who are going to do that, numbers, and all that stuff on there. Which is really nice, so all we have to do is get the cat. Although that's not cure all, but take 10%.
To go back to what you said about the synergy of the team is like spot on. Like if they're not starting, you're like, what am I doing here? Like how are you bringing that? Because I think some of them who are sitting on the bench every night are like, why am I here? So I love that you said that, but I'm just.
How do we do it?
Yeah.
This is kind of when I got the job, I wanted to coach the coaches and
Yeah.
I think it's letting them know that our relationship between me and the player isn't about what they're doing. I care about them. Where you go. So they're free to go and try as well as they're free to know that I'm going to encourage them. I'm going to coach them. I'm going to do all that thing, regardless of whether it's the person that might be the third string offensive lineman or the first string offensive. I'm trying to treat them the same in terms of what I try to do that as a coaching staff as well. We're always trying to do better. I think our coaching staff is committed to that because they all of us to the whole staff players. So they experience it, so they want to get back to the place they have. So it's ongoing, and just knowing that no matter what, we're going to be there.
Because it is a hard thing for players, especially when you have so many. So,
And when you play, let's say that you get a little baseball, I'm starting to catch it. Baseball. 6 teams, you could flip 6 starting catchers. I don't want to start. It's that sort of thing. It's hard to go back. Just go ahead and before. Talk so many issues. It took me 33 years to be able to get to where I want to be returned. So
teach them that patience is
that's
I love that, that's awesome.
Just curious, you mentioned cell phones being a challenge, but thinking back to my day, would there even be a spot, like once you're in, you suit up, you're in the locker room, do they bring cell phones out on the field, or practice?
No.
It should be like,
no,
not an issue, right?
right during practice time, 100%.
Yeah.
But the way they see the world come through that.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
And I think it keeps them from connecting as much in a real time. I'll come in like this morning, I have 0-hour racing, so at 7 o'clock I'm lifting. But 10 minutes prior to lifting, they're home. 7 o'clock, I'm not sure whether they're up there. Yeah. There are people who are asleep on these things, they're not sleeping. Yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, practice time and in games, it's not an issue. I've seen other communities where somebody had their cell phone at the game to talk to themselves, and it's really touchdown. I would say it to them. You see the big difference post COVID? Yeah, really, participation from all levels in most athletics. Post COVID, because there are so many things we become accustomed to. We don't play football, whatever sport it's not comfortable all the time. So there is a group and a propensity to take sort of that path of resistance. I think so. And then people know that I can became comfortable. So I think there is some of that, and we're working hard. I always think it's our responsibility to make our program a product. Some of the people are part of it. So that's what we're trying to do. Adults, which is way too soon.
So as a follow-up to John's question, do you see fewer kids trying out, the number of kids on the team smaller?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors. If you go back 10 years ago, we would have 65, 7th graders, 70, 7th graders play football, and maybe 60, and 40, 50 freshmen. So it's progressively going down. I think it's a lot of reasons. I think some of it's education. Don't want to risk injury, don't want to have trauma, which for a while has been sort of kind of even out. I mean, there's always a risk in football, soccer. So I think the physical part of it, COVID, with the video game, I mean, why wouldn't you just stay home? It's awesome. That all those things kind of things, some you use 1% based on economics, 1% 2% on head injuries. All those things kind of just kind of melted away. Because when I was playing, there was nothing else to do. Basketball player, but somehow they let me go on the team. I all get a lot more stuff in our world. It's rewarding in a lot of ways, but I think that's
So comment on that question. So I was a football official for 4 years before I came to Missouri. And one thing I like about your team is you guys move on from that all. You're not complaining. That shows confidence in your ability. So I appreciate that because it's a tough job.
Yeah.
Some coaches you saw them coming on us and it's like, oh no. But you guys don't seem to do that, so I appreciate that. So
that's we try to be purposeful because we can.
yeah, exactly. And we're all human. You can make that call. It sucks. Yeah, exactly, so, and then my question is, I went to a private school when I played, and, we had a huge advantage, we were pulling kids from all over Denver. Is that still a problem today, like you're playing in Elias this week, and, because you would obviously have a very limited pool of kids that you can pull in. Is that a big advantage for them, or do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think that, private schools inherently, can have an advantage, you know, goes to St. Louis area, and your private school in St. Louis. There is a limit to when you can go. Just the city already has a couple schools and so, you know, I don't see that as a recruit, I see their success as tradition. But definitely there are some areas specifically where if you were coaching at a private school, you would so not to go and recruit to come to your school. Right, if you're really football, but I mean, you have to study your school as school. There is recruiting, you know, but I think it's.
You guys playing soccer?
No,
So it's soccer,
yeah.
we're playing this year, actually.
They're not a top, like our other team.
When you talk about private schools, they're known for like,
Yeah, when I first moved to Durango, Colorado, there was a kid that, you know, lived in Vegas, which is 7.5 hours from Denver, and he got recruited by Mountain Christian to come play football. So the mom and the son moved to Denver, got an apartment, so he could play football in Valor, and I was just like, that's ridiculous, I mean, come on.
I don't think anything like that's happening in Missouri. I mean, everybody, my theory on it, everybody got ways that it's just private school.
Who do you play on Friday?
We played this Friday, Alliance, just
Here or?
here. Okay.
Big crowd,
Yeah.
come on out.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the game, like during the game, actually?
I would like it, it was really, moment of this is the play, it was series. Seeing our guys thrive under the pressure, you know, I can see how we react to it. It's really what we're trying to train and build to is that moment of what's the hardest and then handle that. It's great to have easy like when those moments where you gotta do it. That's kind of hard. But you build a lot of confidence from that. And it's good to see you change. At the end, I like to. Good luck.
Thank you.